Hari Hari Bipole Janam Goinu Manusha Janam Paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Manusha Jannam paya Radha Krishna na bhajiya Janiya Shoniya Bisha Koinu Janiya Shoniya Bisha Koinu Golokera Premadhan Hari Nama Shankirtan Golokera Premadhan Hari Nama Shankirtan Protina Janmilo Kene Kai Protina Janmilo Kene Kai Shangshad Bishanale Divani Shahiya Jale Judaite na koinu upai Judaite na koinu upai Rajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shei Brajendra Nandana Jai Shachi Shuta Hoilo Shei Bola Rama Hoilo Nitai Bola Rama Hoilo Nitai Dinahina Jota Chillo Pariname Udharilo Pariname Udharilo Dinahina Jota Chillo Pariname Udharilo Dashaki Jogai Madhai Dashaki Jogai Madhai Ha Prabhu Nanda Shuta Vrishabhanu Shuta Juta Ha Prabhu Nanda Shuta Vrishabhanu Shuta Juta Vrishabhanu Shuta Juta Koduna Nadadama dasa koi Nateli ho ranga pai Nateli ho ranga pai Nadadama dasa koi Nateli ho ranga pai Nateli ho ranga pai Toma bina ke ache amma Toma ache amar. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giri Bharadhari Joy Giri Bharadhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Badadadi Joy Diboda Jashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Jai Rajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Jai Prajajana Ranjana Jai Prajajana Ranjana Jai Jasada Jamuna Tidabana Chari Joy Kunja Vihari Joy Kunja Vihari Joy Jamuna Tidabana Chari Joy Kunja Vihari Jai Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan, Jai Sachinandan, Gaura Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnu Padparamhamsa Purbrajagacharya Shtadara Sadasissamachal Abhacharnara Vindabhakti Vedanta Shami Shilpopadiki Iskon Pratishtadacharya Shilpopadki Shamaveta Gaud Bhakta Vrindaki Jai Shishinita Gauda Shita Nat Pramanandi Hari Hari Bol. Vandeyaham Shri Gurau Shri Jutaparakammalang Shri Guran Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagurajatam Shahagana Raganatam Mitang Tang Shajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanashaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Shibishakang Vitangscha Mantra Guru Ajota Shikha Guru Ganta Charane Age Karya Bandhan Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharne Nirveshe Shashannavari Pashtatade Shatarane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Sri Vyasadeva Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. One day in the forests of Vrindavan, in the morning time, Krishna and the cowherd boys, they had been grazing the calves and the cows, and it was becoming late in the morning, and the cowherd boys were feeling hungry, and they hadn't had breakfast yet. So they immediately approached Krishna and Balaram, and they said that you are all powerful. We've seen you kill many demons, So we're afflicted with great feelings of hunger and thirst. Please arrange something for us to eat. So this is Braja Prema. This Sakya Prem. Now the cowherd boys, they don't consider Krishna as God. They consider him the chief of the Gobalaks, the cowherd boys, and they order him around. They're ordering him. Arrange a breakfast for us. Apnake boro mane amar shamhin she bhabe hoy ami taha odhin. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is describing how Krishna is attracted to this type of love. He says that if those who are thinking that they're superior to me, like my elders, my parents, and they're not Amar Shamahina, thinking me his equal, or inferior. Shebabe, hoy, ami, taha odhin. I become controlled by that type of love. Actually, the love of the regulated devotional practices, which is full of Aishwarya Gyan, that doesn't please Krishna as much as the love of the devotees that are so much in love they forget he's God. They're so much in love they forget, and not because he's God. You come home, the husband comes home at the end of the day to home after office work. Wife says, Prabhuji, Shami-ji, do you love me? He says, of course I love you. You're my wife. That's not the answer she wants to hear. It's not because she's a wife, but because the way she glances, the way she speaks, whispers, the way she moves, not out of official obligation. Of course I love you. You're my wife. So what? There's nothing special about that. I have to love you. You're my wife. Of course I love you. Of course. Of course we love you. You're God. No, not because he's God. Not because he's God. Actually, the pastimes, the pastimes are fully enjoyed. Braja Bihari, we sang Gopi Jana Ranjan. The pastimes are fully. If he's God, if they're thinking he's God, the enjoyment is reduced. One time on the street in Navadip, Goshundar, he saw 20 sannyasis. Just imagine the opulence of Navadip Dham. 20 sannyasis, any given day. Shishi Radha Madhav ki, Nitai Goshundar ki, Sisi Jagannath Baladev Sabhadra Devi ki, Iskon Attapur ki, Janmashtami Mahamahotshav ki, Shamabeta Gaud Bhakta ki. So just imagine the opulence of Navadip Dham. How often 20 sannyasis come to Iskon Attapur? Even in Mayapur, how often you see 20 sannyasis? You won't see 20, maybe 5, 6, 10 maximum, 20. A given day in Navadip Dham. Navadip Shompotike, Borne Bare Bari. Who can describe the opulence of Navadip? So he invites them. It was about 11:30, 12 o'clock in the morning. He invites them for lunch. He sends a student, go tell Sachi Devi, 20 sannyasis are. Can you imagine, ladies? A husband sends a message, 20 sannyasis are coming for lunch at 12 o'clock. How does Sachi Devi respond? Ghore kichu nai, ai chinte mone mone. Ghore kichu nai, ai chinte mone mone. Oh, there's nothing, we have nothing. Ghore kichu nai, ai chinte mone mone. Kuri jon sannyasi, bikko hoibe kemone. How we can feed 20 sannyasis? She's not thinking that, no problem, Nima, he's God, he will arrange everything. The lila. And while she's in this state of anxiety, automatically all the ingredients automatically appear in the kitchen. So there's the pastimes. The pastimes. If Jasodamar is thinking Krishna is God, and then he breaks the water pot, breaks the butter pot, And she said, okay, you're the Supreme Lord, you can break anything, you can do anything you like, it's no problem, what can I say? No, she's very upset. She chases him with a stick. Imagine chasing God with a stick. Come here, you rascal. So that he's enjoying the pastime. Kebala Shuddha Prem Aisha Jana Jane. In Vrindavan, Aisha Jana Jane. They don't think Krishna is God. Aisha Dekleo. Even he displays the opulence. Nija Shambhonda Shemane. Only thinking he's my son, he's my friend. And therefore the Vrindavan Prem is the most pleasing type of Braja Prem, most pleasing. And that's that we achieve, that's what we can awaken by chanting Hare Krishna, following Srila Prabhupada and the Goswami Gon. By chanting Hare Krishna according to the Rupanugas, we awaken the same type of prema, Braja Prema. Gopi Bhava Rashamritad Bilahari Kolola Mognod Muhur Bande Rupa Shanatano Raguyugo Shijiva Gopala. Gopi Bhava Rashamritadbi. Gopi Bhava Rashamritadbi, the ocean, Rasamrit Abdi. Ocean, Abdi. Rasamrit, Gopi Bhav. Gopi Bhav Rashamritadbi, Lahari, the waves. Kolula Magno Muhu, again and again they're diving into. They're emerging, they're diving into the ocean of mellows, of loving Krishna in the mood of the gopis. The Goswami Gon, this Braja, Vrindavan Prem. Hey, Radha Krishna Guna Smrite, Moduri Anandena Shamohito. Radha Krishna Guna Smrite, remembering the qualities of Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna Guna Smrite, Moduri Anandena Shamohito. They're mesmerized, Samohito. Moha, Mohito, Mohito? Mad, Mohito, Shamohito, completely mad. Radha Krishna Guna Smriti Madhuri Anandena Samohi, remembering the qualities of Radha Krishna. See, Radhika here is so beautiful. We can spend stunned, we're stunned every day. Every day we're stunned. Seeing the beauty of Sri Radhika. We're stunned. The dressing here, deity worship dressing, apurvo, unprecedented, never seen before. What to say in all South India. Apurva. Special. We're stunned every day. Astonished. Stunned. Seeing the beauty of Sri Radhika. So to show compassion on the wives of the Brahmins. To show compassion on the wives of the Brahmins who were performing sacrifices, Lord Krishna, he instructed the cowherd boys, you go to the Brahmins to show compassion on the wives of the Brahmins. He said, you go to the Brahmins. They're performing the Agnishar Jagya, which is meant for elevation to Svargaloka. This is very interesting. Even in Vrindavan, even in Krishna and Balaram are in the forests, still there are Vedic Brahmins, they're Smarta Brahmins, they're performing yajna just nearby to go to the heavenly planets. Even in Vrindavan, when Krishna is performing Leela. Isn't that astonishing? So how fortunate we are here to be worshipping Krishna and understanding, worshipping even we're in the material world. Like Navadip. Goshamda was there. There are many materialistic people in Navadip at the time of Mahaprabhu's appearance. Dukha baro pai Vishwarup Bhagavan na shune abhishta Krishna Chandra Akyan. So much pain Vishwarup was feeling, na shune abhishta Krishna Chandra Akyan. Not hearing the glorification of his beloved Krishna Chandra. Dukhe Vishwarup mone gone na dekhibo log muk chole jai bone. Better not to see their faces and go to the forest. And Vishwarup took sannyas. So they're performing, and Krishna said, when you go, you don't tell them that you were sent by Krishna and Balaram. They don't even chant the names of Krishna and Balaram. He said, and then he said, actually, you tell them you've come in the name of Balaram. Because Balaram, at least he's socially speaking superior to me. Balaram is considered the son of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva Rohini, Rohini Putra, Vyasadeva Putra. Balaram is Kshatriya. But Nanda Dulal Nandadulal, Jashoda Nandan, he's a Baisha. He's a Baisha. He's a cowherd boy. So they're not going to be interested if you say the name of the cowherd boy. But Balaram, a Kshatriya, they may be somewhat, they may be respectful. You know, one time an astrologer came to the house of Goshundor in Navadip. And Nimai, he said, so, Pandit Ji, can you tell me what I was in my previous life? So that astrologer, he immediately he began to do his calculations. And he was performing the meditation. And chanting his Gopal mantra. He's singing in his meditation, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Chaturbhuj, Sham, Sribatsa, Kostuba, Bokhe, Maha, Jyoti Dham. He's seeing the forearm form of Lord Narayan, bedecked with the different weapons, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and the Sribatsa, and Kostuba jewel on his chest, Maha, Jyoti Dham, full of effulgence. And then he saw, in the prison house of Kamsa, he saw Vyasadeva with Jasoda carrying the newborn baby to Gokul for safety. This is in his meditation. He's seeing, standing at the door of Nimai's Shachiyangan. And then he saw a charming, two-armed boy, bluish color, bedecked with beautiful jewelry and beautiful silk cloth. And his jewelry tinkled sweetly with each movement. And his hands were filled with creamy butter. And then he's seeing the different manifestations of Baraha Avatar, Nrsingadev, Baman, Matsya, Lord Balaram, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. He's seeing all this in his meditation, standing in the door of Nimai. And then Nimai interrupts him. Come on, come on. What are you seeing? What is the answer? What I was in my previous life. Ami ke daka. What you're seeing in your meditation. The Brahman, he replied that Purva janma chilotomi jagat ashray paripurna bhagavan sharvaishwaryamai. In your previous life, you were the jagat asra, you were the shelter of the entire creation. Paripurna bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sharva Shwaryamoy, full of all opulences. So then Nimai, he's smiling, he said, Pandit Ji, I think you have made a mistake in your calculations. Because he says that I know in my previous life I was a cowherd boy. Cowherd boy. Gopa grihe janmachilo. Gobir Rakhal. I was born in a family of cowherd men. I was a cowherd boy. She punnahoilo ebe Brahman child. As a result of acquiring punya, because of looking after the cows in my previous life, in this life I've appeared as a Brahman. So the cowherd boys, they went to those Brahmins who were sitting and performing Vedic yagya sacrifices. Actually here in this city, of course here we are, we're staying, I'm hearing everything in the temple. I hear the Prabhupada bhajan, it starts when they're cooking, they start the cooking, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I'm hearing in the room. And then also the background music is the Vedic mantras, chanted here in the neighborhood. Vedic mantras, you're here, in the neighborhood here. So these Brahmins, they're performing the Vedic sacrifices, and then Krishna and Balaram, they came. And they said, they forgot about not mentioning Krishna, they forgot about that. They said, Krishna and Balaram are nearby tending the cows, and we've come to ask some food from you. Prabhupada's commenting that they mention in Krishna and Balaram because on the basis of that, they were able to communicate to the Brahmins that we know everything about sacrifice yagya, and we know that at this stage it's possible for us to accept food from the yagya, because after this there'll be animal sacrifices and liquors offered, and then we won't be able to accept the prasad. But at this stage we can accept the prasadam. Now they're smarta Brahmins, smriti. Means they're very much into the rules and regulation and not into spontaneous devotion. The example, classic example, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, we comment that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, his preaching style, it changed. He began high-profile preaching. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was a smarta Brahmin. He was the most aristocratic and qualified knower of the Vedanta. He was the guru of the king of Puri. And when he saw Mahaprabhu, he said that we will, a young sannyasi, we'll teach him Vedanta so he'll become fixed in renunciation. And then after Mahaprabhu delivered him, as Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita, one time I think we discussed when we were in Puri, the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. The next morning, Mahaprabhu, quickly after Mangaladi, swiftly he went to the Gambhir house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And knocking on the door, Acharya gets up and Krishna, Mahaprabhu hears. And then Mahaprabhu was standing at the door, immediately he offers him the Mahaprasad of Lord Jagannath and the Malla, garland. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, immediately he accepted. Immediately Mahaprabhu was so happy with that. Na desha niyamas tatra na tatra niyamas tata praptam anam tatam shishtai bhaktavyam harir abravid. He's quoting Padma Purana. That na desha, no matter of the place, na kala niyamas tatra, no matter of the time. Praptam anum, when you receive praptam anum, the prasadam, praptam anum, specifically Jagannath Mahaprasad, Bhaktavyam, Harir Abravit, you immediately should honor that. Immediately should honor that. Now this is Mahaprabhu, this smart, there's so many things they have to do before eating. They have to do the dhyan, they have to do the jagya, they have to do the shandhya, bandhana, and so many things before eating. And he just got up from bed, immediately he's accepting that prasadam. Mahaprabhu is saying that my life has become perfect because we have produced such a Vaishnava. Today I was in the Kirtan, Guru Puja and Sankirtan, and I was thinking, Sitaram Prabhu, Grihastha life perfect. His two sons there in the Kirtan. This is Grihastha life meant for this. If you become a Grihastha like this. And produce sons who can become expert in Mridanga. Krishna Das, Vrindavan Das, my students. My students. What pious activities I must have performed in hundreds of lives to achieve such students. So these smarters, Krishna and Baba, the cowherd boys, they're appealing, they're requesting. The smarters, they didn't even respond. I completely ignored them. It's very astonishing. No kindness. Completely ignored them. You go on Sankirtan, I was there. I haven't been yet. I should go sometime. Today we have a program. When will we go on Sankirtan? Here in Hyderabad. One time I remember we were there on the street, the devotees, they were on that highway, and they're standing there holding the books, and they're stopping the people on the highway. I was astonished. They're racing on the highway and the devotee waving the book. The motorbike pulls over to the side. I was thinking, what specially empowered pracharak? I distributed books in Hong Kong. Very difficult place. Very difficult place. The people, you can't even get their attention. You cannot even get their attention. They're standing for hours. You can't even get the people's attention. They're walking past. Hong Kong. Distributing, very difficult. Yeah, take advantage. And people stopped. He pulled over. Bike pulled over. What is that book? So the Brahmins, they didn't make any acknowledgement. They didn't respond to Krishna and Balaram. Prabhupada's commenting that this is the misfortune. Vedascha sarve aham eva beddo. Vedascha sarve aham eva beddo. I am the purpose of all the Vedas. Knowing me, aham vedascha sarve aham eva beddo. To know me is the purpose of all the Vedas. And then there's another incident in Prayagraj, you're well familiar with Prayag. You've performed the greatest service of the Shankirtan, book distribution, Prasadam distribution in Prayag. How you've become dear to Lord Chaitanya for such services. So when Mahaprabhu was there with Rupa and Rupa and Anupam, Rupa and his brother Anupam, Balabhacharya, he was also a highly aristocratic Brahmin. And he came to see Mahaprabhu, and Rupa and Anupam, they went to a distant place. And they were out of humility, that what if we touch him, he'll be contaminated. And Mahaprabhu, he said to Balabhacharya, he said, oh, don't go near them. If you touch them, you'll become contaminated. And Rupa and Anupam, they're at a distant place, they're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Balabhacharya, he passed the test. Yan nama dhyaya shravanana kirtanatya pravanatya shmaranadapi kvachit swadopi saddha savanaya kalpate kutastade bhagwan nudarshanat. That how fortunate they are. He's quoting from the third canto, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Kapil Dev, Debahuti, is explaining, Aho bhatta swapacho to gari yangya jibagare bhartate nama tubhyam. How fortunate are the swapacha, those born in the family of the dog eaters. Aho bhatta swapacha to gari yang. How glorious they are. Ya jibagare bhartate nama tubhyam. If they take your name, jibagre. Jibagre means a little bit of chanting. Jibagre, on the tip of the tongue. Beginning chanting, not necessarily serious chanter, but somehow they chant. The holy name touches their tongue. Jibagre, a little bit. But tepus, just by that little bit of chanting. Tepus, tapas te juhuvu shashnu arya brahmanachu namagrinanti yete. Just by that little bit of chanting, they have acquired all of the results of all tepus, tapas, all austerities. Juhuvu, traveling to all the holy places. Shashnu, taking the bath, performing Vedic yagya. Brahmanachu, studying all the Vedas. Brahmanachu namagrinanti yete. Namagrinanti. Yea, by taking your name, one gets the results of all of these things. This is the conclusion of Bhagavatam, Goswami Siddhanta. This is the Vedic rituals are only meant to bring you to the platform of Bhagavad Bhakti. They're only meant to bring you to the platform of Bhagavad Bhakti. And if Bhagavad Bhakti is so wonderful and independent that you can immediately take to it, even having not performed any Vedic rituals. Dina hina jota chilo hariname udharilo. We just sang. Dina hina jota chilo. How sinful, how fallen you can possibly be. Dina hina means the extent, the ultimate extent, the most fallen. Dina hina jota chilo. As much as you can be fallen. Hariname udharilo. The holy name can deliver you. Tashaki jogai madhai. So these Brahmins, they're foolish. Krishna and Balaram, that's the opportunity to serve them, and they're thinking they're attached to the Vedic rituals, ignoring Krishna and Balaram. Also in that Prayag Leela, Name Bhakta Chaturvedi. Name Bhakta, one who is Chaturvedi. He knows all of the four Vedas, Chaturvedi. Name Bhakta, if he's not my devotee, Name Bhakta Chaturvedi. Mad Bhakta Swapachapriyaha. He's not as dear to me as my devotee born in a family of dog eaters. Name Bhakta Chaturvedi, Mad Bhakta Swapachapriyaha. More dear to me is the devotee born in a family of dog eaters. Tasmai dhyayam tatograyam sacha pujaja atahi aham. He's as worshipable as I am. Whatever he offers, you should accept, and you should offer everything to him. So they came back to the cowherd boys being ignored by the Brahmins. They returned to Krishna and Balaram, and they gave a report on what happened. And Krishna, he spoke some encouraging words. He says, yes, this is the life of the beggars. You can't expect to be successful everywhere. So those of you who are doing the exalted service of collection, I also was collector. I was collector. I was known as a collector. big collector. When my temple president took me to the lotus feet of my Dikka Guru and said, "This boy interested to take initiation," looked at me and said, "Oh yes, he's a Sankirtan devotee. A Sankirtan devotee, a collector." But we can't expect to be successful everywhere. Sometime we would go for the big fish in the foreign countries, big fish in the foreign countries. We'd go to Africa and different places. And sometimes 1-2 weeks you wouldn't collect anything. 1-2 weeks. We go to the big company executives. We could bring from Australia, we could get meeting. And 1-2 weeks, nothing. And then all of a sudden, big. Krishna is testing us. Are we attached to the result? Are we attached to the result? No, actually this is the service. It's just being there, remembering the Lord and making the effort to distribute books. That is the greatest. They take or they don't take. What can you do? That's not up to you. We shouldn't be attached. This is the attitude. So Krishna is explaining, you can't expect to be everyone to give. So then Krishna said, you go this time you go to the wives of the Brahmins. Go to the wives of the Brahmins. And they're at home. And then you tell them that Krishna and Balaram have sent you for some eatables. Because it's getting later and later now. Don't delay. Swiftly, the cowherd boy is getting more and more hungry, like a raging fire in their stomach. Morning time, hungry. Breakfast time. Nowadays I don't take breakfast. We're going to get to everything finished. Can't hear, can't see. Takes so long to get up when you bow down. In the young days, with breakfast, we'd take so much prasadam. Actually, people would gather around me at breakfast time to see the plate. It was filled up like a mountain. Yes. Yes. People would stand around and look at this. What a Herculean task. You will eat all of that. Yes. I told the story, I think. I was in charge of Mahaprasadam plate, the Lord's plate cleaning. I had that service for 6 months. I first joined. Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, Prabhupada's deities, and the plate cleaning. There's 3 altars. 3 altars. And the 3 plates, big plates. Prabhupada said, enough for 10 men, each plate. Huge. And the plate all come to the plate cleaner, and the door locks. You have complete control. So the temple president said you have to divide into 2, for ladies, for men. You have to divide into 2. But at school, I was into the drama, poetry, the debating club. I wasn't into mathematics. I was weak at mathematics. So I was there scratching my head. 3 plates, how to divide into 2. Very difficult. 3 plates, how to divide into 2. And then I got the idea. Yes. 1 plate for ladies, 1 plate for men, 1 plate for plate cleaner. Six months like that, every day. And then after that, on Sankirtan. So, and devotees would stand around and see. So, and I remember morning time after Mangaladi, 5 o'clock, 5:10, and then they've just already the stomach grumbling. And now it doesn't happen, but in those days, already 5 a.m. You're thinking, looking at the watch, 3 hours till breakfast. Because marathon was good because breakfast was 1 hour early. So hurry, go to the wives. Tell them Krishna and Balaram have sent you. So the cowherd boys then went to the wives of the Brahmins. Dear mothers, please accept our humble obeisances. Lord Krishna and Balaram are nearby. They've come here herding the cows and the calves. But we're very hungry. They have instructed us. We've come under their instructions. We're very hungry. Please give something for Krishna and Balaram. Something to eat, some breakfast. So immediately upon hearing the names of Krishna and Balaram, the wives of the Brahmins, they became so anxious. And spontaneously, Prabhupada comments, they didn't have to be convinced that Krishna and Balaram were God. They didn't have to be preached to, they didn't have to be convinced. Immediately hearing the names of Krishna and Balaram, they became anxious. Anxious. This is the goal of life. become anxious to serve Krishna and Balaram, become anxious. Immediately become spontaneous. Aradha Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya Taddama Vrindavanam Ramnaka Chiru Prashna Brajabadu Bhaganija Kalpita. Chakrabarti Thakur is explaining what is the most pleasing type of worship to Krishna. Aradha Bhagavan, the most worshipable form of God, Aradha Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya, is the darling son of the king of Braj. Taddama Vrindavanam, his residence is Vrindavan. Ramna Kachit Upasana. What is the Kachit? Which is the Ramna Upasana? Most pleasing worship. What's the most pleasing worship? Ramna Kachit Upasana. Braja Badu Bhagenaja Kalpita. That which is offered, Bradi, Braja Badu. Badu, housewives. The cowherd maidens, Braja Badu. Bhagenaja Kalpita. That service which is offered by the cowherd maidens of Braj. That is the most pleasing, Ramna, most pleasing, most pleasurable. Krishna is most satisfied by the services offered by the cowherd maidens of Braj. So immediately the wives of the Brahmins, they immediately began arranging the different eatables, filling up different pots, clay pots with the food. And because the Brahmins are performing sacrifice, many palatable dishes were there, available in the pots. And so they were preparing everything, and the cowherd boys were saying that, okay, you give everything to us, we'll take it. No. The lady said, no, this is not a parcel delivery service. We personally will go. We personally will go. In order to see their most beloved. Premonmada Vashara Shesha Dashaya Grashto Pramatto Shada. The Goswamis. Premonmad, the madness of love. Premunmad. Premonmad, Bashara Shesha Dashaya Grashto. Grashto means obsessed. Grashto means obsessed, means haunted. Haunted. Like the romance. You know, you see maybe you're very pious, you've never experienced this, you're young men, not yet married, but you see in the cartoons they have the heart, and it's going boom, 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 boom. Have you seen that? Boom, boom. Maybe you've never felt like that. Maybe you've never felt like that. Right? You've never felt that. But this, in the illusory world, for some reason the feeling is here. It's very. Why is that? The scientists they don't talk about that. But here the feeling of pain in the heart. Oh, heartbroken. They say heartbroken. Heartbroken. What is that? Heartbroken. Everything else is going on here. Who am I? Self-consciousness. The perception of self. There comes a time in life as you grow up, you're a baby, you're boy. After some time, you realize self-identity. Oh, I am me. In the beginning, you don't even have self-identity. You know, Prabhupada was remembering. He remembered from he's 1 year old. Can you remember? Things happen when you're 1 year old. I don't remember anything for first 10 years. I don't remember anything first 10 years. Or I remember one thing when I was 4 years old. But I remember that. Everything else forgotten. 10 years, completely deleted from memory bank. Nothing. Oh. Now next memory I have someone saying, oh, now you have double figures, 10 years old. This is the Potit Odhom Poribare. We're born in the Mlecha Jabon culture. It's ignorance. Ogyana, Ogyana. Born in ignorance, Ogyana. Timiranda Shagyananjana Shalaka, a spiritual master, opened the eyes. We're born in ignorance. But Prabhupada, he remember 1 year old. I remember 1.5 years old every day going, and first memories, Radha Govinda Darshan. So special. So special. Radha Govinda Darshan. He's waking, his senses just becoming activated, seeing with his friend, And every day they're going and seeing Radha Govinda. Many hours, Prabhupada said he would see the arti, the chamur, the offering, the bhoga. Then it was opulent, more opulent. You can still visit Radha Govinda Mandir. So haunted, yes, the romance, haunted, the romance. It's very powerful in the head. Most things in the head. I am this and is in the head, but these feelings overwhelming. These romance feelings overwhelming. It doesn't, unfortunately, in material world, it doesn't last. Only it's in the beginning. After then, sometime, nowadays on the phone, you can see who's calling. You see who's calling. You see the husband. The phone rings, he looks, he sees his wife. And then he, yes. In the beginning, the pain in the heart. Actually, that's a perverted reflection of that we have to awaken such feelings to Krishna. Spontaneous, overwhelming feelings you can never forget. Cannot sleep at night. How fallen we have become. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Nitya Siddha. We're all meant for that. Actually, that's our eternal position. Loving Krishna like that. But how far we have become removed from that. So many other things we love. So many other attachments we have. But exclusively. Mam eka sharanam. So these cowherd, these wives of the Brahmins, then immediately the feelings overwhelming, the burning desire to see Krishna and Balaram, burning desire. So then, even the husbands and brothers and sons and fathers-in-law, they said, no, you cannot go. But they disregarded the restrictions of the husbands, sons, fathers-in-law. They disregarded and they went anyway. Burning desire to see Krishna and Balaram in the forest. So they entered the forests of the Jamuna. The forests of Vrindavan on the bank of the Jamuna. They entered. Which was blossoming with beautiful Bhajayanti flowers, and parrots and peacocks and swans were cooing and chirping, and the sound of the waterfalls and the freshly blossomed creepers and vines in the forest of Braj, where Krishna and the cowherd boys every day are enjoying the Brajalila. And there they saw Krishna and Balaram with the cows and the calves and the other cowherd boys. So they saw Krishna with his blackish complexion and yellow dhoti, which was glittering like gold. Now we'll just tell you about this particular verse here from Bhagavatam, which is describing what they saw, Krishna. They saw Krishna. This verse was when Mahaprabhu, he went to Gaya, and we were discussing a couple of days ago, Kiba mantra dilo goshai, kiba tar bol, jopate mantra karele pago. Mad for Krishna, loving Krishna. And when he came back to Navadip and was trying to give the class, he was unable to give the students were all sitting, and in the beginning of the class, as is the practice of the students, they all chanted Hari, 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 Hari. Now when Mahaprabhu heard that in the beginning of the class, he fell off the asan. That was, they finished, all preparation notes, lesson plan, finished. And simply he's Every question he's responding to Krishna, Nanda Dulal, Bangshi Dadi, Gopal, Govinda Ram. And the cowherd boys, he said, they said, you're not following the standard curriculum. And he said, apologies, I cannot. I'm seeing the cowherd boy, and therefore I can only speak about him. They complained to his teacher, Gangadas Pandit. Navadip Acharya Oddhapak Shidomani Gangadash Pandit Heno Shandipani. He appeared, Sandipani Muni appeared, Krishna and Balaram, teacher. He appeared in Navadip to be the teacher of Nimai. And what a student Nimai became. Jotobaka Gangadash Pandit Korin Shukrit Shunili Matro Tako Darim. Whatever Gangadash Pandit said, hearing it once, Nimai would remember. Such a relationship. So they complained, and Nimai Pandit, he's not teaching the standard curriculum for 2 weeks. He's talking Krishna, chanting the name of Krishna, what to do. And Gangadhar Pandit, he said, I'll speak to him. So he spoke and said, look, we're all very pleased you've become such a devotee, but still you have to carry on with your dharma. Like your father, Jagannath Misra, he was a great devotee, but he was also a scholar. Your maternal grandfather, what's his name? Nilambara Chakravarti Thakur, he's famous. He actually did astrological reading when Nimai appeared. A great devotee, great Vaishnav, father of Sachi Devi, but as a scholar, and so it's very wonderful you become a great devotee, but you carry on, you teach, you maintain your your family, your duties of teacher. Yes, Guruji, yes. Nimai, yes. Oh, and he went back, and then next day he was defeating the scholars, he's giving the arguments. No one could. Shardaba Nabadipe, Shardaba Lok, Hoilo, Dhani, Nimai, Pandit, Oddhapak Shiromani. Who can compare? Oddhapak Shiromani, the jewel of the teachers of Navadip. Shardaba Lok, Hoilo, Dhani, all you could hear from the lips. And so again, and then he went to the banks of the Ganga in the afternoon to give his class. And just nearby the banks of Ganga was the house of one Brahmin, Ratna Garba Acharya. And he was very fond of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So sitting in the doorstep, Ratna Garba Acharya, that afternoon, he was reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And he was reading this verse of what the wives of the Brahmins saw, the darshan that they saw in the forest of Braj. And when hearing this verse, when it entered the ears of Sachinandan, Goshunda, then again they're finished. Even though he was trying, the Pandita, he was trying to do the scholarly, he couldn't. He heard this verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and then he apologized to the students that you can find another teacher. I cannot teach anymore. And he tied his book. He tied his book in the cloth. And then the students, they said, accept another teacher after having you as our teacher? Accept another teacher. You will not teach anymore, then we will not study anymore. And they also tied their books. And then they requested, you teach us how to perform Sankirtan. And Mahaprabhu instructed them to chant Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudan, which Prabhupada describes as another form of the Mahamantra, and should be chanted, he said, constantly in Mayapur. So this is the verse. They saw Krishna with a blackish complexion and his golden dhoti, which was glittering like gold, and a garland of forest flowers around his neck, and a peacock feather on his head. And his forehead was anointed and decorated with a paint made from different minerals found in the forest of Braj. He looked like a dancing actor on a theatrical stage. Like a dancing actor on a theatrical stage. And he was resting one hand on the shoulder of a cowherd boy, and in the other hand he was twirling a lotus flower, wearing the marks of tilak on his body and smiling charmingly. So the wives of the Brahmins, seeing Krishna in this way, in their hearts they embraced him. And then they offered all of the nice eatables. You can imagine what a feast. Imagine, and the cowherd boys in the forest of Braj, and eating the prasad of all the special items, prasad sheba korite hoy, shakala prapancha jai. Just by honoring Bhagavat prasad, shakala prapancha jai, we can conquer over all the material elements. So then Krishna, he spoke to the wives of the Brahmins, and he said that, what can I do for you? You have done so much for me. Not caring for the instructions of your husbands, your fathers, your sons, neglecting them without restriction and without motive. Without restriction and without motive. What is the highest perfection? What is the highest perfection? Buddhi buddhini karmani shrotabhyani vibhagashaha. So many injunctions in the Shastra. Buddhini karmani. There's so many. Buddhini karmani shrotabhyani vibhagasaha. In so many different divisions. Ata shadu trayat sharam. Hey, Shuta Goswami shadu trayat sharam. You tell us what is the cream. Bruhi Bhadraya. Bruhi Bhadraya. You tell us Bhadraya Bhutanam, which will be auspicious for all living beings, Yenatma Suprasiditi, and give ultimate satisfaction to the self. The sages inquired, and Sukadeva Goswami responded, Shavai Punksha Paradharmo. Paradharmo, the highest duty. The highest duty. Shavai Punksha, of all beings. Yadho Bhakti Adhokshaja is to develop love for the Supreme Transcendent Lord. And that devotion, that performance of bhakti, it should be ahoituki apratihata. Ahoituki means without motive. Without motive. Ahoituki apratihata. And without unrestricted. Yainapna suprasiditi. This will give the highest satisfaction. So Krishna is appreciating that your service was ahoituki apratihata. It is unrestricted. You found no excuse. There were nothing could impede your offerings, and you had no motivation. Only motivation was to see us. Only desire was to see us. This is Uttam Bhakti. This has to be cultivated. This process, this attitude, by associating with the Uttam Bhaktas. Not that so many things I want from God, and therefore I'm coming and requesting, you do give me this, give me that, and then I'll serve you. No, let me serve you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And people sometimes say, what to think when you're chanting, what to pray. Whatever you chant, that is the prayer. Hare Krishna, please engage me in yourself. Prabhupada said, like a child crying for mother. This is no other motivation. A child crying for mother, the bhav, this. So Krishna is appreciating. Without motivation, you've come here, and restriction is so appreciated. So Krishna is appreciating so much. Krishna said, now you can return home. We've taken breakfast, we're very satisfied, now you can return home. And assist your exalted Brahminical husbands in performing the yajna. And the wives of the Brahmins, they said, no, this is not, no, we're not going home. You've said, Sharva Dharman Purityaga Mamekang Sharanam. Sister Krishna himself says, Mameka Sharanam, you give everything, you surrender to me. Sharva Dharman Purityaga, giving up all other duty. Mameka Sharanam. Then, Sarva Mokshai Ma Shuchaha. What's the third line? Aham tam sarva papebhyo, aham tam sarva papebhyo mokshai shami. There's no other, everything is cleaned, everything mokshai shami, ma shucha. Don't fear, just come to me, no other anxiety, this is the goal of life. You have no other obligation. You have no other concern. I will deliver you of any other responsibilities. We're surrendered unto your lotus feet, which are covered by the lotus leaves. We have no desire to return to our homes, our husbands, our relatives. We desire to stay under the shelter of your lotus feet eternally. You give us protection. So then Krishna explained, no, you return home, and your husbands and brothers, they will not neglect you. They will accept you because you're my devotees. And dira jana priyo priyakaro ninamasaro pujito. The devotees are appreciated by all classes. Dira jana priyo. The devotees are loved by all the devotees and the non-devotees. And when we're dealing with the people in the world, we should behave in an ideal way. We should behave in an ideal way, because in that way, just by appreciating the devotee, that will be very advantageous for the common person's spiritual progress. Sometimes, actually, I regret, actually, this Prabhupada Vyasa Puja will be the 40 years I'm in Krishna conscious movement. 40 years. It's like I joined on the Janmashtami in 1985. So hopefully we can make it to tomorrow and carry on, and one day to go. 40 years. And anyway, I regret one thing. I was a little hard on my mother. A little hard on her. She's left now, but in the beginning, I was a little hard on her. And brothers and sisters. I have brothers and sisters, and they have children, but I don't even hardly know their names. What is big at their birthdays? And now they're all grown up, and I can see when I meet with them that I should have been more. It's only a few minutes. Give them a call on the birthday, or send. They didn't have message in those days. 30 years ago, they didn't have email and stuff. But superficially, we should play the part. Play the role, because the materialists, they're so sentimental, and if they speak in a bad way, all these Hare Krishna people, they neglect their mother, they neglect their relatives. It's not good. So not that we give our heart, but externally we play the role. Externally we play the role where we show affection and all of that. I was a little too hard on my mother, so I'm just sharing a personal reflection that. Dira jana priyo. Behave in such a way that everybody loves you, everyone appreciates you, and that will be advantageous for their spirit. You don't have to preach to them. But just that they like you, that they're affectionate to you, then that will be very advantageous for their spiritual advancement. So Krishna is saying, you go home and you behave, and everyone will be satisfied with you, and the demigods will be satisfied. I will be satisfied with you. Transcendental love for me does not depend on the situation, bodily confession. Just absorb your mind in me, and you will have my eternal association. Kumar Brahman also, he wanted to go with Mahaprabhu. Amara gai guru ha tarai desh jari deko tarikaha Krishna upadesh. Oh, I want to go with you. Mahaprabhu said, no, you follow this instruction, you preach at home, jari deka tarikaha Krishna upadesh. Amara gai guru ha tarai desh. You deliver all the people, your friends and relatives, preach to them. Kobo punarapi, kobo tomar Bishoy Taranga, you will not be affected. To Kobuna body te toma Bishoy Taranga. In this way you will not be bewildered. Kobuna body te toma Bishoy Taranga. Your material situation, it will not pollute you, it will not affect you. Punarapi eitai pabe moshanga. Rather, eitai at that place, eitai pabe moshanga, you will always have my association. If you follow my instructions, and this way remember me. So the wives of the Brahmins, they returned to the homes, and along with the husbands they sat as is required. The wife sits alongside the husband in the performance of the Vedic yajna. Now there was one Patni, Brahmana Patni, wife of one Brahmin, and she was forcibly checked from going to see Krishna at this time. And at home, being completely absorbed in remembering intense meditation on Krishna, being completely absorbed, she gave up her body. Gave up her body. When the wives of the Brahmins returned, the Brahmins got realization, perhaps by the association of their exalted wives. They began to regret, understanding their mistake, that we're so much absorbed in their performing rituals, and we neglected not understanding what is the actual goal, to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. And seeing the devotion of their wives, they could understand so much about Bhagavad Bhakti, about Krishna consciousness and loving Krishna. To hell with our being born as Brahmins and learning Vedic literature. To hell with the sacrifices we're observing and rules and regulations. To hell with our family, to hell with all, they said. We have not developed transcendental love for Krishna. Shesham bonda nahi ja brita janma gelo tar. Shesham bonda nahi ja. Those who haven't awakened and a relationship. Shesham bonda nahi ja. Those who haven't awakened a relationship with Lord Nityananda. Brita janma gelo tar. The life is wasted. Sheposhu bodo duda cha. This is just like an animal. As Bhagavat explains, Bhagavat, first canto, second chapter, where the section of Bhagavatam which Prabhupada quoted more than any other section and lectured on more than any other section of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, second canto. Dharma sva anushtita pongshang bishvakshena kota shuya na utpadayet jadi ratim shrama eba hi kebalam. Sukadeva Goswami is explaining to the sages that Dharma shva anushtita pungsha. Even the person who is Dharma sva, performing his religious duties, Dharma sva anushtita, following anushtita, Dharma sva, following very perfectly all his religious principles. Dharma shva anushtita pungsha. Bishvakshena kota na utpadayet jadi rotim. But if it's not producing the roti means love. Roti, love. Bishvakshena kota. For hearing about Bishvakshena, for hearing about the Lord, Bishvakshena kota. Na utpadayet jadi rotim. If there's not awakening, all of the duties that we're performing, if they're not contributing to awakening, attachment for hearing about the Lord, shrama eba hi kebalam, then this is a waste of time. Such performance of dharma is a waste of time. And as Narad, a few chapters later, in the 5th chapter also, confirmed to Vyas Muni that dharma, was that charanam bhujam hare, how does that start? Chaktva swadharman. Chaktva, one who gives up these duties, chaktva swadharman charanam bhujam hare, to take shelter of the lotus. Bhajan apakva ta potet toto jodi. Even if he sometime and then stops, still that's so auspicious. Yatraka va abhadram. Where's the inauspiciousness in that? Ko varto aptam. And what do you get? Ko varto, what gain aptam? Ko varto aptam abhajitam sadharma. If you're perfectly performing all of the duties, abhajitam, without worshipping the Lord. What is the gain in that? Narad Muni is describing. So in this way the Brahmins are reflecting. What is the use? We had opportunity to serve Krishna directly. We missed that because we were attached to the preliminary religious principles. How fortunate you ladies are, they said. Well, that which is ordinarily very difficult, you spontaneously did. You immediately accepted the opportunity for serving and loving Krishna. Prabhupada comments that women in general, being simple at heart, can very easily take to Krishna consciousness and develop love for Krishna. Matre mandoli ki joy. The Brahmin said that Krishna and Balaram, they actually played a trick of mercy upon us by sending his friends. He could have easily satisfied their hunger himself. He could have produced whatever foodstuffs were required, but he sent his friends to play a trick on us, actually to show mercy upon us. So the Brahmins repented, and they wanted to personally go and offer obeisances to Krishna and Balaram, but being afraid of Kamsa, they didn't do so. So any questions this morning? We have questions or we finish? So late. Jai Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Sri Krishna Janmashtami Mahamahotsav ki jai. Shamaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So you joined in Janmashtami?